about it. I'll talk about the limitations in life, some of the factors that limit us to achieve what we want, our goals, and to aim high, I believe. There are those factors that limit each and every one. We are all different, but then some of us, or most of us, have a certain fear to something, and these factors limit us in life. We cannot achieve, or we cannot go further than expect. One of the factors I'll talk about that is common, and since we've all been talking about it, it is fear. Fear is one of the constraints. It's an obstacle to life. We fear that we may fail. We fear that we may not succeed. We also fear responsibilities, the outcome of something. For example, if I take on a certain job, will I be good at it? Will I deliver to their expectation? So there is that fear that most of us hold on to. You're like, you fear to take the risk of going higher. What if you tried something new? What if you tried something better? How would you overcome it? How would you achieve something if you don't try it? There is a fear of also speaking. Like, for example, public speaking. It's not for a few, it's for the majority, actually. If you're not trained way from childhood, I think these days, it is starting from schools, from a time when these kids go to school. They're trying to teach it. I think here in Africa, most schools are doing that in kindergarten. They're trying to teach confidence so that when you grow up, you're able to express yourself. You're able to have that confidence to have a public speaking in front of people. Then some of us fear the heights. There are so many fears that any one of us can have. There are those that fear to be alone, the fear of death, the fear of hurting. There is so much I can talk about fear. Then there is another constraint or an obstacle. It's self-doubt. We do not trust ourselves to do something. We question our capabilities of doing something. We fear to fail. We fear to make a mistake. We fear that we may not be good at something. You don't have this confidence in you. You don't have this, you are not sure about yourself. So that is another factor that limits you. You cannot achieve something if you don't trust in yourself. It all begins with your mind. What you perceive in your mind is what you take. If you fear that I'm not good at something, then you will never be good at it. If you doubt yourself to do something, for example, you're given work and you don't have this self-confidence in you that, okay, I can do this, at least I've learned through it, you will still not achieve what you want to achieve. Another constraint is the past experience that we go through. Some of us have failed at one point or another. So you bring that as a limiting factor to you that probably it will happen again. But if it does not happen again, we fear to try again once we've failed at something. You also look at other experiences that you may have had in life, for example, childhood memories, or probably past relationships. We limit ourselves to achieve better. We put the past in front of us. Another factor I can talk about are the beliefs. Sometimes the society we live in, we have these expectations, these beliefs that we have among us. I'll talk more about the Africans. I don't want to, because I know more about us. For example, like there is an age limit. They will give like at a certain age, you should have graduated, at a certain age, you should be married, should have achieved this at a certain age. So we have those beliefs in us that, okay, you consider yourself a failure. For example, if you reach this age when you don't have such a thing. If you reach this age when you've not achieved such a thing. So all those beliefs that we put into our minds, our brains, they also limit us into achieving something that we may have desired to achieve. There are also the skills, like if you do not have the skills to do something, if you don't have the resources, you don't create the time, you limit yourself into achieving what you expect to achieve. Another thing is about lack of knowledge. You may lack knowledge to do something, but then right now there is so much, you can get knowledge from anywhere. You can talk to someone, Google is there. There is so much to learn. We limit ourselves just because probably we stopped at a certain level of education. We do not have knowledge about, we are not informed about what is happening. We don't put ourselves there to learn. So we lack the knowledge and the skills to do certain things. It is a limiting factor to what we can achieve in life. There is so much I can talk about the limitations, but then I want to give room to other people to also share their experiences, and probably I will keep adding on with time. Thank you. The floor is open for anyone who has something to share.
Thank you, Sylvia. And good morning, all.
Good morning.
Yeah, just as she mentioned, fear. Fear is a limiting factor in life. Fear of continuing. Take, for instance, one has tried so many times and failed. The ability to continue again. You will see yourself, there won't be any need for me to continue. Since I've done this once, I've done this twice, and I've failed. And that fear will limit the person. The person won't have the courage or the confidence to try again to see if the person can make a success out of the project or out of whatever the person is doing. So fear is actually a limiting factor. It limits one to giving the best, to try out all options to see if one can achieve success out of it. So that's my own contribution. Thank you.
Thank you for that contribution. Yes, fear is a great factor, actually. In order to embrace fear, you should look at failure. You should embrace failure as a learning opportunity. The more times you fail, the more times you learn. So you don't have to get worried about how many times you fail. You never know, it could be, you may fail 10 times, but then at the 11th time, you may win. Anyone have anything to share? An experience, how to overcome fear, probably, how you go about the different factors that limit you to success.
Hi, Sylvia. Hello, everyone. Thank you, Sylvia, for today's topic. I think this is something that applies to each and every one of us. Yeah, and when it comes to limitations in life, I think one of my personal ones, I would say, and I think this is something that maybe you guys could have experienced as well. I think also like the mindset what we believe about ourselves. Yeah, you talked about believing in yourself, and I think it's something that it's very important. I think quite a number of people don't really like believe in themselves, and you mentioned about how these days, kids are being trained from a very young age, to learn how to speak in front of people, things like confidence, you'll see like a lot of parents kind of going into learning how to affirm children and things like that, so that they can grow up believing in themselves. So I think this is something that's very important. It can be a limitation, being able to believe in yourself, and even for the things you mentioned that you're not, let's say you're naturally not so good at, believing that you can be able to learn something and become good at it, believing that you can be able to fulfill like certain goals that you've set for yourself. Yeah, I think it's very important, just to have that belief that, okay, I've set this particular goal, and I'm willing to put in the work, to put in the effort, to see that it comes to pass. Yeah, I think that's one of them, believing in yourself. I think most times before somebody does something, for most people, they're waiting for like external validation. Maybe you're waiting for Sylvia to tell you, oh, you can do it, you can do it, you can do it. But we don't really like take time to speak to ourselves and say, I can do it. Yeah, so I think not waiting for that external validation, but being able to believe in ourselves. Yeah, I think it's very, very important. There's actually a quote that I once read, and just to paraphrase, I think they were saying that no one owes you that belief. Sometimes we want people to believe in us. Maybe we say that I wasn't able to do ABC because no one encouraged me, no one believed in me. Yeah, and they were saying that no one actually owes you that. You have to believe in yourself and show people that you can actually do something, and then it will be easy for people to believe in you. Most people will easily believe in something when it's moving, when it's successful or something like that. So I think we just have to be able to do that internal work. And I think the other thing that kind of ties to that external validation is also maybe also similar to fear, is opinions of maybe people around you, maybe family, it could be friends. Sometimes they say that sometimes the people who are closest to you can be like a limitation in a way, because maybe you're afraid of what will they say, what will my friends think of me or something like that. So let's say like starting a business, yeah, like when you're starting, like if you've ever tried to start like a small business, when you're trying to start like a small business, almost like you're really, really pushing, more like hustling, asking people, advertising your product, buy my product or buy my service or something like that. And sometimes people can maybe fear like, what will my friends say? Okay, maybe I'm starting something new, or it may not seem that big. So I think that fear of opinions of what people think. And I would say maybe the third one that just come to my mind is also not being able to, not like having like a vision, not being able to see ahead. Yeah, I think sometimes limitation, like you can start something and maybe you give up on it, but sometimes we actually give up, way too soon, a few challenges here and there, and you're like, oh, maybe I've given up. But sometimes because we don't really have like a vision, we don't really have like the bigger picture. Because I think when you have a vision, you're able to keep on pressing on, regardless. Yeah. So that's what I think about this. Thanks, Sylvia.
Thank you, Linda, for the good talk, for the good points. Actually, when you're mentioning most of the factors, I remembered something that applies to me recently. before I joined and after I joined here. So I'd given up on my path, my career path. I was like, oh, no one will ask me about it since I'm doing it for myself. But then the environment here pushed me to go back to what I wanted. Yeah. So the factors, the people we have around us actually can also be determinants to what we want to achieve in life. Does anyone else have something to share?
Yeah, good morning. Morning, everyone.
Good morning, Shukesh.
Yeah, thank you for this topic. Hope you're doing well. So I just want to add something to this topic, like yeah, limitations in life. Someone said that like mm, there are no limitations until and unless you make it, or like except the ones you make. So yeah, there are limitations for everyone, but particularly like I would say like there is time, which one is limited. Like it is for everyone. For everyone, it is just we have limited time, and health also. As we grow and as our age increases, then this health also health may decline. Our ability to do work decline. So these two things uh, are the main limitations in our life. Remaining things like whatever the limitations we have currently, except these, are the ones I can say like you are the one who made it. Like seriously, like if you want to achieve something, then you need to keep aside the limitations and overcome everything in your life. Then move on to the things whatever you face in life. I can say. Yeah, that's what I want to add to this topic. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Shukesh. Anyone else? I can also add on the physical and mental health. Sometimes you like if you are physically incapacitated, you can think you cannot do anything. There is the way you are demotivated and the energy to do something, but then that is not it. Sometimes it is your mind. It all starts in the mind. If you set yourself to do something, it could be an illness and you're like, I cannot do this because I have a chronic health issue. I cannot do certain thing, but then you are able to do something. You can be able to contribute to something to achieve your goal in life. So we limit ourselves sometimes given the situations we are in. Anyone has any experience to talk about? Would be an addition to what we've mentioned.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Noah.
Okay, so for me, if I can start with limitation in life, uh, I will start with an example for us over here. There's something for me when I wanted to start, when I took the job for me to work with Moracle, there were so many discussions because for me, I asked a lot of people. So how will this be? How will it look like? So several people we are looking into the limitation about how this can happen. Okay, well, this company is in UK, and then it's remotely in terms of your connectivities. How will you be able to cope with the without working environment? So how will it look like? You're in Africa here. In terms of electricity, it's not stable. But these were all limitations. Although I was looking at a broader picture, like, okay, maybe the exposure level, how I might be able to do things on a different level. So, but these were all limitations. If, for instance, I look into them, or let me say, if I took most of the example or most of the advice that they were giving, okay, you know what? Let me just stick to the plan and then work currently where no. So, but I was looking at the broader picture. So I might say your environment alone, the environment that we are in, might come up with a limitation to us. Like, for example, Sukesh, most of the time when we are discussing, if we say maybe it's, let me say, most of us here currently it's either at 9 or 10 a.m. in the morning. If you ask Sukesh now, maybe it will be like 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock in his own environment, in his own, in his own country. So maybe at the end of the day, before it's going to, for us here at 5, it will maybe like 10 p.m. So that's a limitation again for him. If he look into that and say, oh, you know what, I will not be able to I will not be able to do this. Maybe this time that I'm currently working on, that's the time I should be using to rest. But I believe you look into it and say, you know what, I'll be able to cope and do something in it. So all about limitation is about your own belief also, what you believe that you can be able to do. How can you cope with these some of these things, these limitations? Because we are also looking at in terms of financial obligation that we are also want to meet in our life. Some people coming from, let me say, in the province, or people that are coming from a background that's not like an average background. Most of the things people are doing that are coming from a wealthy background, they will not be able. They will look at, they will take, oh, you know what, this certain thing that this person is doing is because of he or she's coming from this background. He's coming from a wealthy background. That's why you are seeing he's so well. They have these certain skills, because most of the time people will also limit themselves about, oh, you know what, this and this that this person is doing, it's because he or she is coming from this background. So, but you just need to cope with all of these things, and then you just need to believe in some of these things and say, okay, you know what, I will be able to do this also. If you have the right mindset. That's why it's very important, if we possess the right mindset in whatever thing we are doing. We should not be looking at the limitation like, oh, maybe you're coming from Sierra Leone, hey, there's electric. You just have that kind of firm belief in yourself that, you know what, I'll be able to do this. Even if maybe you are going through financial constraints, if you seek support or you ask for help to other people, trust me, some of these limitations, we are going to break them. These barriers, we are going to break them. And you know, all of these things, limitation in every angle that we go through, they will be part of us. In every situation, even if you are in UK, there are certain limitations that you might be going through now in UK, or there are certain things. Maybe it's time, maybe how many hours you're spending at Moracle, or you want to go and do your full-time job. You know, all of these things, these are all limitations in terms of time. Your time limitation, you want to do several things, but because of there is no time, you'll not be able. But if you have the right mindset and you know what to do, and you believe in yourself, trust me, these limitations, we are going to break them. These are just these barriers. We are going to come up with solutions to them, and then we solve our problems. So you see, that's why we just need to have the right mindset about us doing anything, because several things, if you are coming in this environment also, you will be having a limitation of, oh, you know what, I've never used QuickBooks and ever in my life. This is the first time I'm using this. I've never used Zero. I've never used digital. Yeah. But if you just have the right mindset that, you know what, okay, I'll be able to put myself into this and try to learn something new, then you'll be able to adapt. It's all about the adaptability, how we can be able to adapt yourself and then walk through certain things in life. That's why it's very important, again, about the mindset. So for me, this is my own take on this topic. Thank you.
Thank you, Noah. It's been insightful. I'm not sure if we have any other person who wishes to contribute to the topic. I expected someone to talk about time management, but no one has raised it. But then it's a very big factor whereby we make poor prioritization of our time. We procrastinate so many things to life. I'll do this at a later time. Before you know it, you have not achieved what you want to achieve. I think we do not have any more, so I will conclude our topic today. So thank you everyone who has participated to this. I believe we shouldn't let so many factors limit us to life. If you want to get something, if you want to achieve something, you should go out there, make positive affirmations about yourself, reduce the negative talks, identify and challenge those self-talks that you have about yourself, the beliefs, become self-aware, go out, learn. Failure is not the end of it all. You should challenge yourself to things, take the risks that you need to take. Probably you achieve something. And then having the right mindset is also key. Thank you everyone for this morning. And over to you, Linda.
Thank you, Sylvia. Thank you for a great topic today. I'm sure that we've all, picked something from today's topic. Thank you, and we'll close our meeting here for today. Yeah, have a wonderful day, guys.
Thank you, Sylvia.
Thank you,
Have a
Sylvia.
nice day.
Welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hello, Linda.
Hi, Robert.
Hi, how are you today?
I'm all right. How are you doing?
I'm okay, thank you very much. I sent you an email late last night, in the evening, sorry. Don't know whether you've come to it yet.
Oh, okay. I've seen it.
Yeah, okay. When you're settled, can you let me know the time Mola is free?
Okay.
He meets up with those guys. Yeah,
All right. I'll let you know.
thank you very much.
Okay.